short notice to discuss an urgent issue for our community. As mentioned in a news release from my office yesterday, Chief McManus is going to be briefing the Criminal Justice, Public Safety, and Services Committee this morning about a new police initiative. Now, that committee and the meeting is chaired by Councilwoman Viagran, and it's going to get underway in the room next door at 11 o'clock. The Chief's presentation will mark the first time the public hears about another step that we're taking to deliver a coordinated and targeted response to those responsible for deadly violence in our city. As you're aware, there's been quite a bit of discussion about the uptick in criminal activity in 2016 that we saw here in San Antonio, but also across the nation. And the safety of every resident, of course, is my top priority, as well as my city council colleagues, and we have to make every effort that we can to effectively address violence in the streets and in our homes. As a response, we began by deploying and testing a number of new programs and initiatives, including ShotSpotter and the Group Violence Intervention. I also convened the Mayor's Council on Police Community Relations. But now our San Antonio Police Department is ready to outline its new collaborative approach, which will involve multiple agencies as well as multiple units within the police department. And the effort will rely heavily on advanced analytics and will be intelligence driven. So I'm going to ask Chief McManus to give you a few more details at this point.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. So as the Mayor said, we've talked about this over the year, the uptick in violence in San Antonio. It's happened across the country, and San Antonio was not an exception to it. So what's new about this particular initiative? Well, let me go back for a second and talk about an initiative that is actually still, well, we just finished it. We had a very, very aggressive violent crime campaign on the east side through the entire year. And we had federal partners and local partners joining us in that effort. So what's different about this one? This one's going to be citywide. It's not going to target any specific area. It's going to be a combination of all of our covert units in the department, our SWAT unit, our SAFE officers, and 8 federal units to include our local partners, the Sheriff's Office. So the difference here is we've got a number of covert units that each focus on a different area. You've got Vice, which focuses on prostitution, gambling, and alcohol, underage drinking, underage sale of cigarettes to underage children. We've got a rope unit that focuses primarily on property crimes, burglaries, fencing, things of that nature. We've got our gang unit that focuses obviously on gang, bleeds over a bit into the drug world. We've got our drug unit that focuses on drugs, and it bleeds over into the gang world. The difference in this particular initiative is that all of these units, we're going to gather some synergy by putting them all together, focused on one specific mission, and that is violent crime. It will cover all those areas that they typically work alone, but they're all going to be focused on violent crime. Another distinction between this and other similar type of initiatives is we are not going to cast a broad net over any area of the city. We are not going to get ourselves into a situation where we are over-policing an area, which leads to complaints from residents. It's going to be very targeted. It's going to be very mission specific. It's going to be driven by intelligence from our fusion center and analytical data from our GIS office. So we initially kicked this off, or officially kicked this off, the first month, January 2nd. We are still putting the finishing touches on it right now. The people who are going to be working this initiative are actually finishing up some other investigations that they have, but we will, as we start to pick up speed, we will see arrests increase, and hopefully we'll see an impact on the numbers. That's the intent. Along with that, as the mayor mentioned, we're doing other things to engage the community to work with us to fight crime. GBI, we've got ShotSpotter out there that we're in a testing phase. We've got Stand Up SA out there that's working the streets trying to prevent violent crime. So it's not all enforcement, it's all about community engagement as well. But let me just close up by saying it is going to be a very mission-specific, very targeted approach to the violent crime issue that we're experiencing here in San Antonio. And with that, I'd like to introduce our Public Safety Chair, Councilwoman Viagran.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you all of you for being here on this time where we're going to be discussing a very, very important issue and a priority for myself, the mayor, of course our chief, and for all of the citizens of San Antonio. Today is the first day, the first time this year we're able to have our Criminal Justice Public Safety and Services Committee meeting. So that's why it's today that we'll have this report and we'll have the chief's plan outlined to us. And I'm very happy to know now, and I'm looking forward to the details we'll be learning later in just a little while, the strategic and collaborative approach that our SAPD will do this. Because we know that this is an issue that we all together as a community need to join into. We have partnerships and organizations that can work together, and we need to have all of the community work together to bring this crime down in our city. So I want to thank you all, the media, for being a partner in us to be aware and make this an issue for the community and to bring a community collaborative effort on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman. Just to underscore what the Councilwoman just said, we do appreciate the media being here because we need you to help us to engage the community, because the community has to be involved. It's going to be a partnership and can't just be, as the chief said, about enforcement. So that concludes our news conference, and we'll be available for questions individually afterwards. Thank you so much.